Roseville's been on it for 3 years, but could we be off program improvement within a year? We spoke with Principal Basham, who had the answer. And nearly hit by a falling screen, one teacher retells a story for us.
A basketball game that was moved from Wood Creek High School to right here at Roseville. The cause that may surprise you coming up on this week's TigerCast, Tuesday, February 12th, 2013.
Good morning, I'm Daniel Wetter.
And I'm Meghan Julin. We start today's TigerCast with developing news regarding Roseville's program improvement status, the status deemed by the government's No Child Left Behind Act. I spoke with Principal Basham to find out when Roseville could possibly be relieved of this PI status.
Program improvement may not be around in the years to come in California. As the state transitions into the age of Common Core, the program improvement status given to many schools will not be around for much longer.
I think that once No Child Left Behind sunsets in 2014, program improvement as we know it will be gone. I'm sure that there'll still be some kind of accountability system put into place.
PI is the status given to schools by the federal government's No Child Left Behind Act when schools do not meet certain requirements. According to the California Department of Education, schools like Roseville that are in Year 3 PI, which is classified as the corrective action state, are supposed to choose one of the following actions: replace school staff, implement new curriculum, decrease school authority, appoint an outside expert, extend the school year or day, or restructure the internal organization of the school. But Principal Basham says these requirements haven't applied to Roseville.
That the federal government doesn't have the resources to have schools being completely restructured and staffs being let go and having to rehire, because it's not one or two schools. We're talking thousands of schools across the nation at this point.
And many believe that program improvement has not been an accurate label for Roseville High School.
We're a high-performing school. Our students are doing well. They're meeting college readiness expectations. 71% of last year's seniors met A to G. We have more students taking AP classes than we ever had before. Yet we're a program improvement school. And the target has become unattainable.
And the end of the No Child Left Behind Act is very welcome by many.
No Child Left Behind in program improvement as we know it, that's going away, and it can't go away fast enough if you ask me.
This all means program improvement should be going away by 2014. And now Daniel joins us with a timeline of program improvement and how it's affected us here at Roseville.
Yes, Meghan, there's been nearly 7 years of developments regarding the status placed on us by the No Child Left Behind Act. We'll start in 2006, which was actually the first year Roseville was placed on program improvement. That status only lasted for 1 year. Fast forward to October 2010, when the Eye of the Tiger first reported that Roseville would likely be determined a program improvement Year 1 school. This was because one of the 18 student subgroups did not meet the 54.8% proficiency standard on the California high school exit exam required by the government. Shortly after that, Roseville was officially placed on PI. Administration began looking for different ways to help improve all the subgroups. Now to October 2011, when Roseville was designated a PI Year 2 school because 17 out of the 18 subgroups reached proficiency on the KC. And last year, November 2012, Roseville entered its third year PI with 172 incoming freshmen opting to transfer to a different school, by far the most students to do so up to this point. And now, Principal Basham tells us that program improvement should be going away by 2014. Meghan?
A new math class is coming to Roseville next year designed to help seniors prepare for college-level math. Juniors this year who take the EAP section at the end of the STAR test and score not ready or conditionally ready on the EAP will be allowed to take this course.
Let's face it, when you guys get there, the lowest minimum level of math that you need is a level right above Algebra 2. So if you're able to kind of get that strong foundation of Algebra 2, you'll be able to be more successful when you take that.
The flu has been hitting students hard this year. We spoke to our own RHS nurse, Dale Edgerton, on ways students can protect themselves from this epidemic.
To prevent the flu, we'd ask you not to share drinks, cigarettes, lipstick. Don't kiss somebody else if you don't want their germs, and just in general keep your saliva to yourself. Wash your hands, throw away your Kleenex, don't reuse them, and before you eat, always make sure you've washed your hands, or before you pass something on, use hand sanitizer. Soap and water works great.
A flu shot is also strongly encouraged.
And now to a surprise that no one saw coming at the Roseville vs. Wood Creek basketball game, but everyone has heard about since then. Meghan has the story.
An unusual incident occurred at the Wood Creek vs. Roseville High School basketball game held at Wood Creek last week.
The last person that they introduced, they all threw the powder up.
As the player lineup for Wood Creek was being announced, many students in the Wood Creek audience proceeded to throw baby powder in the air, much like NBA player LeBron James does as a pregame ritual. The quantity of baby powder thrown in the air not only caused coughing, but also covered the court in a layer of powder.
It was definitely slippery. I think some of the Wood Creek kids didn't think it was slippery because only like Roseville kids fell, but one of the Wood Creek players fell too. I mean, it was definitely slippery.
After a delay of game to clean the floor, the game began. Within minutes, it was obvious the players could not play on the court. The game was then postponed and moved to Roseville High School later on that night.
I think everyone was just excited because home court advantage against Wood Creek is always fun. So yeah, it was definitely everyone was going crazy and whatnot. So
Wood Creek assistant principal Mark O'Hare told us that there was an arrangement between a coach and a student to pull the baby powder stunt, but not to the extent that happened. O'Hare also told us that Wood Creek is appreciative of Roseville High School for allowing the game to be moved onto their premises on such short notice. But while Wood Creek says something like this won't happen again, Roseville students were happy to be a part of it.
But the fact that it got moved to Roseville, we kind of all got hyped up more and made it more fun. It was unfortunate for Wood Creek, but it helped us out in the long run.
I just think this is going to be something that we're going to tell our children about because this only happens in movies.
And if you were wondering, Roseville beat Wood Creek 88-71. And we wanted to hear from you about that unusual basketball game. Now let's look at some of the comments from our Facebook page as part of our Tiger Talk. Wesley Yang says, "The baby powder was extremely annoying. It smelled fresh, but too fresh. He had a hard time breathing when he tried to escape that madness." Megan Boisel said, "Stupid. They made themselves look like idiots at their own home game." And Curran Siney says, "Anything that makes Wood Creek's Aurora game move to Roseville is funny." And finally, Mitch Skellinger says, "It was childish, not well thought out, especially because it got in the way of the game and took away home court for them." On to more basketball news. Roseville played at Del Oro last Wednesday, but the game was much more than sport. That game came just days after Del Oro student Morgan Hellman was killed in a car accident over the weekend. Before that game, Del Oro has lost 4 students in the last 6 weeks, so the game was made a dedication to those students. There was a moment of silence during the first collective 10 points scored, which Roseville students took part in. Del Oro students chanted, "Thank you, Roseville," after the silence.
It was hard when the families were talking at the beginning for everyone, obviously everyone at Del Oro, but it made us think a lot, and it was sad. But I think it was a good show of support, and the families were very grateful.
Student government is currently putting a card together to send to Del Oro. If you'd like to leave your thoughts and prayers, just stop by room 606 by the end of today to write your message. And want to catch all the basketball action this season but can't make it to the game? We stream them live at CIF-SacWaukeen.tv, just like our Facebook page at facebook.com/ITheTigerNews to find out when we're streaming. Roseville math teacher Scott McCullough left the RHS staff earlier this month. McCullough became a business analyst for Oracle, something he has been looking into.
No, I love teaching, so it's not that I want to get away from it, but more towards the other end of being an analyst. They will be going to, there's been a new staff member hired, so my geometry class will be taught by that new staff member, and then my AP Stats kids will be going to Miss Wood's class. Okay.
With McCullough's departure, a new math teacher came in to fill his position. McCullough's AP Stats class went to math teacher Shadra Wood. Wood's Algebra 2 classes went to math teacher David Ray, and Ray's Algebra 1 class was handed over to the new teacher.
He was almost hit by a falling projector screen while he was teaching. We spoke with teacher Jean Domek about the near miss.
The screen went up a little faster than it should. It bounced off the wall and came down with a big crash and shattered a bunch of glassware. Threw a little acid around the room, but luckily nobody was hurt, and that was good. Screen weighs just under 50 pounds, so it definitely would put a dent in your head.
That wraps up our TigerCast today. We'll see you in 2 weeks. But remember, you can always get the latest news and sports online at eyeofthetigernews.com, and don't forget to like our Facebook page.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.